Shalawam, shalawam. Dang, Nakaf, you got up on here quick. Shalawam. Yahweh Hashem Yasharahla. I feel like every day is something new, man. Every day. And this brother today it's hilarious. He sent me what we about to talk about. I woke up to this brother sending me a bugged out live. I'm like, oh man, look at Yahweh. he had the brother send me the live. I'm like, oh, J of J? Oh, that nigga bugged out already. Man. Yeah, I finished season 1, House of David. I gotta start watching season 2. But as you know, it's a little bugged out at certain points, right? Like the whole giants thing, the way she says she had Goliath and all that, and the way they put the oil. Samuel put the oil on his forehead, but really Samuel put the oil on his crown, which is the top of his head. But it's a good series, nevertheless. I mess with it. But yeah, you got to look at it with a spiritual eye. Yeah, Nakaf, immediately. K-Will, I see you, bro. We gonna talk about it. All right, I'm gonna give brothers like 2 minutes to get up in here. Then we gonna talk about these bugged out lives and not mixing your doctrine. Okay, so I give brothers about 2 minutes. All right. This brother, I'm like, bro, I was making tea. I got my tea right here. I was making tea. I'm like, don't interrupt a man's morning tea. I got some cinnamon tea. I'm trying to chill. I'm trying to relax. I'm going to drink my tea. Oh, I need a little bit of honey, though. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely some honey. All right, that's good. That's good. All right, y'all. All right. Give me 1 minute. 1 minute. All right, facing the east. All praises, honor, and glory be to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Wakakadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of the great millstone, which rule well and teach well in sincerity, taught us this truth. Shalawam to the Lord's hopeful elect, 144,000 men, as well as 1/3 men, women, and children, maintaining themselves, keeping the laws, commandments, and statutes to the best of their ability. It's your brother Yerami Kazak, back with hopefully another edifying lesson through the spirit, power, and strength of Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Kakadash. The true names of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. All right. Yahweh equals He is, He exists. Yahweh Shai equals He saves, He delivers, He is salvation. And Rakakadash equals a spirit that's holy, a spirit that's set apart. Right? Now, the Lashawan Kadash, you can find it written on stone, the Los Lunas, New Mexico stone, the Moabite stone, certain stones in Utah, Ohio, etc., etc. Okay? It's all over the world. Certain caves in Australia, Puerto Rico, Hebrew tablets have been found. Okay? So I'm going to show the alphabet real quick, because this will support the entire lesson. As you can see, Abagadaha Wazaka Tayaka. Alright. Salakia. La ma sa I pa taza kwa ra sha and tha. So that is the Lashawan Kadash, the Paleo Hebrew. And then down here you would have the modern Hebrew, which is the Assyrian, the Aramaic, all right, with the same vowels. This is not Yiddish, okay? This is not Yiddish. Yiddish has O's, E's, U's, and V's. If somebody is calling on Yahuwah, Yeshua, Yahweh, Yahosha, whatever it may be, that is Yiddish, okay? The real correct Hebrew does not have no O's, E's, V's, U's, J's, or F's in it. All right. Now, the topic today is going to be bugged out lives. Okay. And this should be a fairly quick one, because like I said, I was, dang, Adar, you was going live? Hey, I'm going to be quick. I wasn't supposed to go live. Okay. Like I told Nakaf, I woke up, this brother K Will sent me a live that he's in. It's a bugged out ass live. And he in here he said, I'm trying to edify them. I said, bro, you a baby. You need, you new brothers. And it's not to pick on you or nothing, but you new. Okay? K Will, I'm going to ask you a question. I'm going to ask you a question. Can you break down? I'm going to give you a simple one. Can you break down the beginning of Isaiah the 11th chapter? Can you break down the beginning of Isaiah the 11th chapter? Okay. Or I'm going to give you a more simple one. What is this white stone? I'm going to read this. He that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches. To him that overcometh will I give to eat of the hidden manna, and will give him a white stone. And the stone a new name within, which no man knoweth, saying he that receiveth it. What is that white stone? Do you know what that white stone is? Right? In Revelations 2:17. And because you're not answering, I'm guessing your answer is no. No, that's not what it is. You look at what you said. You said Yahweh Shai will get a new name. See? Look at this, guys. And this is why you don't go in bugged out lives trying to teach, because you would bring blame to the ministry. That is not what that means. Yahweh Shai will never get a new name. Now, I'm going to just play devil's advocate. I'm going to be a Christian real quick. I'm going to be a brother that's going at you. Nah, That's not what that means. Let's go to Acts 4:12. Neither is there salvation in any other, for there is none other name under heaven given among men whereby we must be saved. So you seeing how you would have embarrassed yourself in that live? Because you are a baby. Okay? Jay Peasy, we dealt with you yesterday, bro. All right? As you can see, I'm talking to a brother right now. Hold your peace, or you will be muted. So, K Will, you can see how you would have been conflicted. You would have been confused. They would have confounded you. Because once again, you are a baby. You know what I'm saying? You're not. Stop trying to jump in lives and debate or go back and forth with people or nothing like that. Furthermore, let's actually go to the live. Okay, JPZ, come up on the panel. Come up on the panel. We'll talk to you today. I got some time. Just a little bit. But as you can see, I'm dealing with somebody else. We read to you yesterday Ecclesiastes 5:1-3. I'm giving you 10 seconds to come up on the panel. After 10 seconds, mute him. K Will, Jay just my partner though. No. Who is your brother, mother, and sister? Who? Who? Let's go to Matthew 12:50. For whosoever shall do the will of my Father which is in heaven, the same is my brother and sister and mother. You telling me J of the J, whatever his name is, Goofy. He's not doing the will of the Most High, bro. He's not even teaching the correct name. You see how J is my partner, though? No. That's not your brother, bro. All right, JPZ, I see you wouldn't come up here, so I'm gonna mute you. Just mute you. You know, if you get the balls to come up here later on, you can come up here. All right? You say somebody intelligent come in, I don't talk. No. I'll talk to somebody with intelligence, but I don't talk to people with no balls. Okay? And you showing yourself to have no balls. No courage. You're not a man. All right? So stay your ass in the comments where you belong. Now, you see, bro, you gotta do the will of the Father. The Holy Spirit can tell no lie. That brother does not have the Holy Spirit because he doesn't even have the names. Now let's go to the live that you was in.
So I gotta do something new real quick. See, you just said that he's the same Elohim. That was your opening statement.
All right, off the ripper. What's wrong with here? What's wrong in here? Somebody tell me. Off the ripper. What's wrong in this live? Khan, that woman teaching. What else? What else was wrong? Female on the panel. Okay, what else? This is things K Will needs to be able to identify. They talking about Elohim. Exactly. It's a whole lot of Ruach Elohim going on up in here. It's a whole lot of corrupt communication. That's what we trying to warn you of, brother. Let's go to Ephesians 4:29. And it reads, let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth, but that which is good to the use of edifying, that it may minister grace unto the hearers. This is what that J of J, whatever. And as you can see, K Will, I don't know if you noticed, but they blocked both of my accounts when I was trying to get you up out of there. I was trying to help you because I already dealt with those individuals. That is not your partner. All right? He's teaching confusion. He's allowing confusion to run rampant on his panel.
So I gotta do something new real quick. See, you just said that he's the same Elohim. That was your opening statement. He's an Elohim that does not do what? He does not change. So when you look up new, Also, break down that word of knowing, going to the etymology. It's renewed
Look,
as well.
he tried to bring me up. J&J of Yah. Who the hell is Yah? Can y'all tell me who Yah is? I don't know no Yah. Alright? So he tried to bring me up. I'm going to tell his ass, I ain't coming up on no weak ass panel. Okay? I'm not coming up in that bullshit. Because it's bullshit. And I identify it as bullshit. You need to have some discernment. Alright? Let it go.
Wow. But we got to see what these words are meaning as well. We got to break down all of these things. Me personally, I just found out an N-word. When it speaks of an N-word Jew, if you go into the etymology, N-word means hidden, concealed, unknown. So that's an inward Jew. When I look into Romans, I'm like an inward Jew or an outward Jew. I'm thinking it's talking about two different things. But if you look into these words, right, it's going to give you a whole new revelation. So he gave us this Ruach just so we can keep. He says, I will.
What's the Ruach, y'all? Can anybody tell me what the Ruach is? Anybody in here? K-Will, you know what the Ruach is? What's the Ruach? I ain't never heard of that. I'm a play baby. I'm a baby. What's the Ruach? Can one of y'all knowledgeable brothers teach me? Let me sip my tea. What's the Ruach? Dang, nobody knows? I did. Oh, nobody taught you that, huh? Oh, we talked about it a little bit in the beginning. Can anybody spell Ruach off of this? Wait a minute. Let's go to the word. Let's go to R. Ra. All right, so it's no U? It's no U? So how could I get Ru if it's no U in the Hebrew? How could I get Ruach? I'm trying to figure it out, man. Wait a minute. Let's type in Yiddish. Yiddish alphabet. Yeah, let's get that. Yiddish alphabet. Oh, here we go. Here we go. I ain't never really looked at the Yiddish alphabet. But I know I can get Ruach out of the Yiddish alphabet. You see what we saying? What is Yiddish? Yiddish is a language used by Ish people in Central and Eastern Europe before the cost, originally a German dialect with words from Hebrew and other languages. Those other languages would be German and Slavic. Today it is spoken mainly in the U.S. and Israel. It's not a pure form of language. What is our language? Let's go to Isaiah 19 and 18. First and foremost, K-Will, in that live, they didn't bring out no scriptures. They bring out no scriptures. They just talk from their damn mouth. All right? This is Isaiah 19 and 18. You gotta, and what I'm seeing on you is you got that entertainment spirit. You gotta pray and fast that shit up off of you, bro. Okay? You gotta pray and fast that entertainment YN spirit up off of you. That's a demon. This is Isaiah 19 and 18. In that day shall 5 cities in the land of Egypt speak the language of Canaan and swear to Yahweh of hosts. One shall be called the city of destruction. The language of Canaan. All right. What is that language? Let's go and let's get it. It is the Proto-Canaanite language. All right. Then you got the Phoenician. Then you have the Paleo-Hebrew. These are all Shemitic languages. And you ask yourself, well, the Canaanites are Hamitic, but they dwelt in the land of Sham. They spoke a Shemitic language. All right. So all these languages are similar. They have the same sounds. This is Yahweh. Okay. This is Yahweh. This is Yahweh. This is Yahweh. All right. The Holy Spirit would be Rakah Kadash. Rakah. All right. And as you can see, this individual, what's your name? Yeter Skeeter. You know, as the brother Kakama said, man, you don't believe, just leave. We're not here to argue with you because we're not full of debate. I don't have nothing to prove to you. I teach to my sheep that can understand, that have the ears to hear. You simply don't have no ears to hear. You understand? So, no. The Zionists, they speak Yiddish. Okay? We speak the Lashawan Kadash. We speak the Lashawan Kadash, the pure language. All right? Furthermore, this is a prophecy of us being in America. In that day shall 5 cities in the land of Egypt, that's speaking about America, speak the language of Canaan, that's speaking about the Lashawan Kadash, and swear to Yahweh of hosts, one shall be called the city of destruction. But you don't understand prophecy. All right? Furthermore, before we get you up out of here, I'm going to send you out with a gift. This is Zephaniah 3:9. For I will turn to my people a pure language, that they may all call upon the name of Yahweh to serve him with one consent. All right? But you're not understanding that. Now, furthermore, to the brother K. Will, that has been happening right now, bro. That's why we have the language. That's why we have that name, going back to that name in Acts 4:12. Neither is there salvation in any other, for there is none other name under heaven given among men whereby we must be saved. We have the name of Yahushua. We have the name of the Father, Yahweh. Let's go to Jeremiah 17:6. You see what we doing? We hitting precepts. We going precept upon precept, right? I have manifested thy name unto the men which thou gavest me out of the world. Thine they were, and thou gavest them me, and they have kept thy word. This is how you teach. Let's go back to what you was in.
Put my spirit within you and cause you to walk in my statutes and keep ye my judgments and do them. So he specifically gave us this ruach so we can do something that we were not able to do before, something new. Now we get the ruach, we are able to keep his law, statutes, and covenants.
No, you can't. You's a dumbass bitch. No, you can't. Who in here, by a show of hands, who in here can keep the laws 100%? We got somebody in here? Who can keep the laws 100%? I need to see. Hey, make it shake and bake. I need to see somebody up in here. Show me, but cause you got the ruach. You got the ruach. All right? Calvin, Holloway, we can obviously tell that your attention span is weak. We're not even talking about the 12 tribes chart. You see? So I'm going to talk to you like I talk to my 2-year-old. Look, calm down. Daddy is teaching a lesson on not to be in bugged out lives. We are not talking about the chart. We are talking about women don't supposed to teach, and new brothers don't need to be in bugged out lives debating. You hear me? Is it okay? Okay, shut the fuck up, man. Damn. Niggas be so stupid. No attention span. Y'all never apply Ecclesiastes. Let's go to Ecclesiastes 5:1-3. Keep thy foot when thou goest to the house of power, and be more ready to hear than to give the sacrifice of fools, for they consider not that they do evil. Be not rash with thy mouth, and let not thine heart be hasty to utter anything before power. For power is in heaven, and thou upon earth. Therefore let thy words be few. For a dream cometh through the multitude of business, and a fool's voice is known by multitude of words. When you come in the room, you're supposed to observe, see what's going on. Pay attention. What name are they calling upon? That's a key discernment factor. What name is being called upon in here? All right? What's the lesson today? All right? It's not on the chart. Why do I got the chart up? K. Will, can you tell me why I got the chart up? Give me a chapter. Give me a chapter. Give me a book. What chapter tells me that I have to have the chart up? Only K. Will. All right? Because you said you want to go up there and edify them. Well, you got to edify me first. I need you to edify me. What chapter tells me that I need to have a 12 tribes chart up? We waiting, bro. This is what will happen, man. Okay, let's go. Matthew 15 and 24. And it reads, but he answered and said, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. No, that's incorrect. That's not the chapter. That's not it. That's just letting you know who Yahweh Shah came for. I give you a precept to that, though. Okay? Because that's one that you need to know. Matthew 1 and 21 is a precept unto that. And it says, and she shall bring forth a son, and thou shalt call his name Yahweh Shah, for he shall save his people from their sins. Now, K. Will, you can simply say, be humble and simply say, I don't know. Because you need to be taught. You have to get the milk. All right? You have to get the milk first. Okay? You don't want to be like this dude, Raya Yahweh. I be seeing you, bro, in a lot of bugged out ass lives. You don't be over here with us. You be in them bugged out ass lives. And your doctrine is most likely being distorted. Okay? I'm not asking the question to anybody else. I'm only talking to K. Will. This is the thing about most Jakes, man. Most Americans, y'all attention span is weak and low. You have no comprehension skills. So K. Will, simply say that you don't know where it states in the Bible that you need a 12 tribes chart. Just simply say that. This is a humbling experience for you. Okay, good, bro. Good. That's good. Okay. Now, you would go to, well, I'm going to make it easy for you. Let's go to Numbers, the 17th chapter, verse 1. And Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto the children of Israel, and take of every one of them a rod, according to the house of their fathers, of all their princes, according to the house of their fathers, 12 rods. Write thou every man's name upon his rod. So, Numbers 17 and 1. That's one. All right. Now, let's get another one. Okay. This is Ezekiel 37 and 16. Moreover, thou son of man, take thee one stick and write upon it for Judah and for the children of Israel, his companions. Then take another stick and write upon it for Joseph, the stick of Ephraim, and for all the house of Israel, his companions. Okay. So let's go up here. As you can see, this is one stick. All right, we're writing upon it Judah, because we're supposed to write upon it Judah, and for the children of Israel, his companions. What's the companions of Judah? The southern kingdom. All right, Benjamin, Levi. So, that's it. That's the companions. Then, write upon it for Joseph, the stick of Ephraim. So, Ephraim would be considered Joseph's. You know, that would be considered Joseph. This is the head of the northern kingdom. All right, Ephraim. Judah is the head of the southern kingdom. Okay? So, what does it say? The stick of Ephraim, and for all the house of Israel, his companions, the northern kingdom. So, it would be Manasseh, Gad, Reuben, Naphtali, Asher, Issachar, Zebulun, Simeon, the northern kingdom, the Latinos, and the Native Americans. All right? So, that explains it. So Ezekiel 37 and 16, Numbers 17, 1 and 2. This is why you need to have a stick. And this is what we telling you new brothers, man. Y'all got to get the breakdowns. Concern yourself with prophecy. Concern yourself with learning and getting the milk. Get out of these entertainment lives. You said J of J is your brother. He never taught you that. He's supposed to know that. He don't teach you that. He most likely don't even teach how he's supposed to teach. All right? We are commanded to have a stick when we go out and teach. I guarantee you he don't go out on the corners. Now let's finish it.
Hebrews 8 and 10. For this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel. I will put my heart into their minds. We coming out of the old now because you don't like staying in the old, so let's go back into the new and precept upon precept. So he tells us, for this covenant that I will make with the house of Israel, I will put my laws into their minds and write them on their.
Next question. K. Will, are we in the new covenant? Because according to Eloah, we in the new covenant. So are we in the new covenant? Yes or no? That's a simple one. Are we in the new covenant? Okay, good. Good that you know that. Right? And this is the thing. You said, I'm in here, but I'm not listening to them. No, you was up on the panel. All right? Stuff is going in your mind. Spirits are jumping off of you, regardless if you understand that or not. You knew, bro. But you got to understand the spiritual aspect of things. Things that people speak. How do spells get casted on you? Spells get casted on you by vibrations, by sound waves. Okay? This is true. Okay? So if somebody continues to say Ruach, somebody continues to say Yahuwah, those demonic spirits is being pushed out into the atmosphere. All right?
Hearts. He's telling that side in the New Testament as well, right? Because that was the old foretelling the new. So he tells us we need to be keeping his law.
And that's a female. Running the live, teaching the whole live. Boom, boom, boom. That's embarrassing, man. That would never happen over here. That would never happen in the proper house of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah. Now let's hit a couple precepts on that. And matter of fact, I just hit one precept on that because ain't nobody worried about that dumbass chick. Okay, 1 Timothy 2:11. Let the women learn in silence with all subjection. But I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to exert authority over the man, but to be in silence. All right? As a woman, the only one that you can teach is another female or children. That's it. That does not mean on a public platform. That means in private or over the phone. Okay? Jeremiah Bates, you said, but I still use the English language. Yes, indeed. I got a prophecy for you. This is Isaiah 28 and verse 11. For with stammering lips and another tongue will he speak to this people. Okay? If you understand the curses that we were sent into captivity, we were stripped of our heritage, we were stripped of our language. Okay? But when I call on my power, I'm going to call on Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem Wakakadash. Okay? I'm not going to call on Jesus or God or Yahweh or Yeshua or none of that. I'm going to call on my power in the Lashawan Kadash. All right? When I pray, I try to pray my best in Hebrew. Okay? Because the Hebrew has a higher power. It has more force behind it versus the English. English is derived from Spanish. Slakia. English is derived from Latin and Spanish is derived from Latin. The ISH, it's like Latin. Those two languages come from the Latin. All right. So understanding that. The brother Nakaf put on the comment board spell. Old English spelling, to spell, to tell, talk, speak, discourse. Exactly. So the name of Yahuwah or Yahweh or Ruach, these are what? Why did the Most High tell you not to speak any false names? These false gods, they don't even supposed to come off your lips. Right? The only reason we would say them is because of teaching purposes. That's the only reason. That's the only reason I'm going to say Jesus. Because of teaching purposes. But I know Jesus is a demonic ass name. It has demonic powers behind it, man. Right? Christ. No, I'm not saying that. Okay? We're going to call him Hamashiach. So these are things that you must know, K. Will. Stop trying to go up in these lives because you said, I'm going to go up in there and I'm going to edify them. You can't even edify yourself, bro. Before this live, you didn't know why we have the 12 tribes chart up. You didn't understand that. But now you do. You have been edified. All right? But even with that, you need to, man, let's go to Hebrews. Jeremiah, Yiddish is not the correct language. I never said that Yiddish was the correct language. What did we tell you? Real quick before we go to Hebrews, I see you got a listening problem. All right. Before you came in here, Jeremiah, rudely interrupting, we brought out the Lashawan Kadash, the Paleo Hebrew, the ancient Hebrew, the holy tongue. Okay? Not Yiddish. All right? All right, that's what you didn't understand. Is there a difference between Jews and Jewish? Yes, we're not Jewish. All right. Oh, is that boy Dev? Now that must be another Dev because you don't follow me. But Jews would go back to the word Judah, all right, which in Hebrew would be Yahwadah. Okay? Jewish is those people that took the land in 1948. All right, as you can see, once again, ish means to be like something. They stole our identity. All right. Now, furthermore, continuing the lesson, let's go to Hebrews, the 5th chapter, verse 12. Okay, Will, write this one down. Study this one. For when for the time ye ought to be teachers, you have need that one teach you again, which be the first principles of the oracles of power, and are become such as have need of milk and not of strong meat. Now let's get a precept to that. As you can see, we always bringing out precepts, right? This is 1 Peter 2, 1 through 3. Wherefore, laying aside all malice, that's maliciousness. That's harmful intent to you. Being in that live, J of J, that's harmful intent to you because they're not teaching the proper doctrine. So it's maliciousness and all guile. Guile is deceit. They're in there deceiving you, teaching you that this is the correct way. That's why, as you can see, at the end of the line, what happened?
In their hearts.
What?
He's telling us that in the New Testament as well, right? Because that was the old foretelling the new. So he tells us we need to be keeping his law.
Boom. What did it say? You are blocked by the live creator. Why you block me? Why was I blocked? What? Because you're full of guile. These individuals are full of guile. They know I came in there and I checked their shit. And they going off. So they blocked me to get you up out of there. All right? They're trying to separate you, brother. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah is trying to deal with you. And Satan cometh immediately to pull you away, to separate you. Once again, going back to who is your brother, your mother, and your sister. You say Jay is your partner. Well, your partner ain't never taught you the lessons correctly. He ain't never gave you the proper breakdowns. So your partner may not be your partner. Partner. All right? Keeping it going. Keeping it going. What else? And hypocrisies. Being a hypocrite. And envies. And all evil speakings. That's corrupt communication again. Such as Ruach. If this man has that female speaking on his live, he should have automatically correct her ass. Hey, sis, it's not Ruach. It's Rakah Kadash. But he didn't correct her. I can't let that shit slide. Somebody come up on here and they say Ruach, I'm going to correct them ASAP. All right, you say Yahweh, I'm going to correct you ASAP. You say Jesus, I'm going to correct you ASAP. You got to run your house correctly and properly. I ain't just going to throw some trash on the ground and not pick it up, man. Put that shit in the trash can. Hey, we got to straighten this out. Okay? Come on, man. All right? All evil speakings. As newborn babes, desire the sincere milk of the word that you may grow thereby. If so be you have tasted that Yahweh Shai is gracious. Okay? So let's take that back over to Hebrews 5 and 12 and read it again. For when for the time ye ought to be teachers, you have need that one teach you again, which be the first principles of the oracles of power. That's the laws, commandments, and statutes, the oracles. And are become such as have need of milk. So according to the law, you need one to teach you, and not of strong meat. You're not ready for strong meat. You most likely you can't break down reincarnation. Which that's here nor there. That's but you can't break down Genesis the 1st chapter. Genesis, the 3rd chapter, that the men were trees. All right, that's more stronger meat. All right, Ezekiel, the 31st chapter. Right, these type of things. The tree of life being a man, being a nation. These type of things. Right? You wouldn't know those things yet. So you got to take it slow. Verse 13. For everyone that useth milk is unskillful in the word of righteousness, for he is a babe. And that's what I'm telling you, that you are a baby. So you have no, you should have no role in going up in these books. And furthermore, man, having some discernment, knowing not to go in that live in general. As you see, he tried to send me an invite to go up there. I'm not going up there. It's no purpose. We are not here, K. Will, to go out and help everybody. No. We're not here to help everybody. You know what I'm saying? No, we're not. All right? We here to help the who? Who are we here to help? Can you tell me? K. Will, who we here for? I'm asking K. Will. I ain't asking y'all. Richard did it. I just said we ain't here to help everybody, so no. Peace G, no. It's a specific term. Who got ears? Who has ears? Who are we talking about? I'm gonna give you a hint. It starts with a E or it starts with a R. Stay thinking different. I said I was talking to K. Will. I said I was talking to K. Will. Oh my damn. Yeah, but the elect. Okay, the brother gave you the answer. You know, but that's Jake, man. Jake don't know how to follow orders, man. All right, at all. But the elect. Okay, so let's go to Romans 11:7. What then? Israel have not obtained that which he seeketh for, but the election hath obtained it, and the rest were blinded. So we are here to seal the elect. We are here to help the elect, man. That's it. What's the R word? The remnant. The remnant. Okay, the remnant. Verse 8, according as it is written, power have given them the spirit of slumber, eyes that they should not see, and ears that they should not hear until this day. So majority of our people, 2/3 of our people, have no understanding. They can't grasp and take it. As you can see in that live, bro, you see what's going on.
So I got to do something new real quick. See, you just said that he's the same Elohim. That was your opening statement. He's an Elohim that does not do what he does.
So if he said that and she said that, then they both going off. And furthermore, she's about to try to teach and nobody is checking this. Right? So automatically. But you want to go up there and be Captain Save-A-Ho. I understand. All right, you coming into that phase of where you want to tell everybody. But no, that's not it, bro. That's not it. All right? Let them be. Let them be. Hey, if you told them once or twice before, they couldn't accept it, let them be. Yahweh does not want to deal with them. As you stated, those who have ears. Yes, indeed. Let's go to 2 Thessalonians, the 2nd chapter. Verse 10. And with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. And for this cause, Yahweh shall send them strong delusion, that they should believe a lie. So he has placed a spell upon them. Strong delusion. That they all might be damned who believe not the truth, but have pleasure in unrighteousness. So they enjoy the wickedness, man. They're caught up in the world. They can't leave Jesus. They can't leave Yahusha. They can't leave Yahweh. They can't leave Yeshua. They can't leave the Ruach HaKadosh. They can't leave it alone, man. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day. Who is this individual? Hey, Dev number 2. Just chill out, bro. Okay? We are not Jewish. You're reading from a different translation. All right? That's what you're doing. That's where you're failing. That's what you're doing. All right? Let's read it from the correct translation, which is the King James. The word for word. Luke 23, 50 and 51. And behold, there was a man named Joseph, a counselor, and he was a good man and a just man. This lets you know he was an Israelite. He's a just man. The same had not consented to the counsel and deed of them. He was of Amaranthia, a city of the Jews, not the Jewish, but the Jews, who also himself waited for the kingdom of Yahweh. All right? So, Deb, look, I'm going to tell you right now, bro. Get off my comment board causing this confusion and distraction. You're reading from a corrupt, translation. All right? Oh, okay, you took it. Yeah, you're right. My bad. Okay, good. All right. Why Andrew said, why is the KJV the correct translation? Because the KJV is the closest to the Hebrew. It's a word for word translation. What we read from is the 1611 King James Version. Okay, with 80 books in it. All right. So that's the correct translation. Now, what you have today with the 66 books, that's a Protestant Bible. That's all that is. And they took the Apocrypha out of the Bible. They took it out of the 1611. Okay. So, hey, man, with that being said, I'm about to wrap it up. All right, as you can see, the 1611 King James Bible contained 80 books, including the 66 books of the Old and New Testaments, along with 14 books of the Apocrypha, which was placed in a separate section between the two testaments. Over time, most printings stopped, including the Apocrypha, resulting in a 66-book version, most commonly seen today, because in the Apocrypha, it's giving you so much information, man. Right? No, you need to get the 1611 KJV. You can or you can simply download Apocrypha, right? Or you can download KJV Bible online. Okay? This will have, if you download this King James Bible online, you can go over here and it'll have the Apocrypha books in it. Or you could go and read the Old English 1611 KJV Bible, right? So these are the Apocrypha books from 1st Esdras to 2nd Maccabees, okay? These are all canon. These were inspired by the Most High, all right? They were all in the 1611 King James Bible, but they were took out to deceive us because Esau is full of guile. He's full of deceit. All right? What about the Dead Sea Scrolls? No. Enoch, Jasher, Jubilee, all that bullshit? No, we don't subscribe to that. What's in the 1611 is all we need. That's all we need pertaining to salvation. If you go into Enoch, Jasher, Jubilee, Book of Thomas, Book of Adam and Eve, Book of Mary Magdalene, Book of Cain, all that stuff is pseudepigrapha. It's fake. It is written falsely attributed to another author. Okay, Enoch did not write that book. He might have wrote a book, but we don't have that book. All right. Yes, it was a book of Jasher, but we don't have that book. Okay, you got to understand these things. So they looked at the Bible and they know certain books were written, but we were not given the privilege of having those books. We didn't need those books. All right. So we may have the book of Enoch in the kingdom. You know, because in the book of Esdras, it said it was what? Like 200 and something books written. But we only was given a certain amount of them. We wasn't given all of them. Okay? So don't worry about no Dead Sea Scrolls. All right? Oh, no, you good, man. Hey, at this point in time, I feel like the lesson was I get one more scripture pertaining to the lesson, and then I'll take a couple questions, and then I'm gonna get up out of here. This is 2 Corinthians 6:14. And K Will, write this one down. If you still in here. I know that brother ain't lead alive. Oh man. 2 Corinthians 6:14, man. We try, man. Be ye not unequally yoked together with unbelievers. For what fellowship have righteousness with unrighteousness? And what communion have light with darkness? This is another reason why you should not be all up in that these bugged out lives dealing with these guys, man. Okay? They don't have it. They don't have the Holy Spirit, the Ruach HaKodesh. They don't have it. They don't possess it. Yahweh's not dealing with them. Okay? So hey, at this point, man, if brothers want to come up or anybody got any type of questions, I got about 20 minutes because I know my daughter about to wake up. All right? And we will be live again later tonight going into a woman's role in this ministry. All right? And I believe the brother Adarga Bar wants to go live as well. I don't know, though, to later on today. But Andrew, you said I'm wrong on the KJV. I don't think I'm wrong, man. Okay? I just showed you the evidence. I just showed you the proof that I'm not wrong. And yeah, Rick, what's your name? Rich did it. Yeah, you found us when the Most High wanted you to find us. All right? You said what evidence? It's right here. The 1611 King James Bible contained 80 books. Okay? So I'm not wrong on it. Now, what you want to rock with is what? The Protestant Bible, right? That's what you're rocking with, right? Well, let's look up the Protestant Bible. The Protestant Bible originated from the Protestant Reformation. Emphasis on making scripture accessible to the common people. All right? Key figures included John Wycliffe, who produced the first English translation in 1384. Keep going. Later translations included the Great Bible, Geneva Bible, and these Bibles was more so radical. All right? But the key, let's go to 69. Right here. The 1769 edition of the KJV is a standardized Protestant text that became the foundation for most modern KJV Bibles. It was a revision of the 1611, completed by Dr. Benjamin Blamley, who standardized spelling, grammar, and punctuation using resources like Samuel Johnson's dictionary. The 1769 Oxford revision made the text more readable and is the source text for the vast majority of King James Version Bibles printed today. Now, what was added to that Bible? Jesus. Okay? This is why you see Jesus all throughout the Bible. When in the 1611, you see Jesus. Okay? Furthermore, what books were took out, Andrew? Can you tell me, Andrew, what books were took out? Since you know so much, and you said that I'm wrong, what books were took out? If you could come on the panel, I would let you on the panel, but really you don't deserve to be on here. You don't have enough followers, man. Okay? No, we're talking right now. What books were took out? All right, you get up out of here, dude. There's no point. Okay? So the books that were took out, as we stated earlier, were the Apocrypha books. Okay? We read it earlier. Right? Well, actually, Salakia. It was done in 1880s. This version predates the removal of the 14 intertestamental books, which is the Apocrypha, from some editions, which was done later in the 1880s. All right, so that's when that was done. But Benjamin Blamley most definitely did add the name of Jesus in that 1769 Bible. Now, if you go here on the blue letter, you can see 1611 and the 1769 because that's the revision, right? If you read let's go to the King James, and it's the Old English, so it's difficult to read, right? But I'm gonna show you where Jesus is in the Bible. Let's go to Matthew 1 and 21. And she shall bring forth a son, and thou shalt call his name Jesus, for he shall save his people from their sins. So, Andrew, this is what we're talking about. All right, how it would have been Jesus, which goes back to Yahweh Shai. All right, Jesus does not go back to Yahweh Shai. The English translation, all right, if well, names really don't translate, but how to say whatever, how they do it, it would be Joshua. Okay, so it never would have been Jesus. Jesus means in the Latin, earth dung, earth pig, earth filth. All right, so every time you call on Jesus, you're saying earth filth. That's what you're praying to. All right. So it would have been Jesus in the Bible, 1611. But as we said, 1769, Jesus was added to the Bible. All right. I'm going to bring Abaniah up. But if it's any more questions, y'all can ask them. All right. I'll bring the brother Abaniah up. You got something to add? Phil. Hey, Shalawam. Right, so every time you call on Jesus, we got a delay. It's a delay.
Shalawam, Mark.
Shalawam.
Are you hearing me, Malak?
All right, yeah, you good.
Are you hearing me?
Hobbies and the males playing.
It's just a
Okay.
delay.
Now, that translation from Yahushai to Jesus is actually incorrect.
Okay, break it down.
Now, I'm trying to get the information here. Go ahead, Ak. I'm trying to get the information where when you go into it, it's not, you can't get Yahushai and then get a deviation to Jesus. I'm trying to, I did a lesson on it. Transliteration was supposed to be transliterated. Transliteration, the pronunciation to the word that we say with a name, it doesn't change, even though the language is different.
Mm-hmm.
This is why Vladimir Putin, anywhere he goes, regardless of the language that is spoken, they're going to call him Vladimir Putin, right? Because a name cannot be transliterated. A name is a name. That's why, Salakia, a Chinese translate the name Jesus and say something else. No. This is why when you look anywhere and you hear the name Jesus mentioned, regardless of the language spoken, they all say Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
So if it doesn't change for the name Jesus, how the heck you expect it to change for the name Yahushai or Yahweh or Yahushai when those are the true Hebrew names? You see, a lot of people, they refuse to research and understand that the enemy has set up himself to hide the understanding. This goes in to Psalms 83 where it talks about the crafty counsel, right? That the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. And one of the things that Israel is known and will be remembered for is the power that resides in them, which is Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. So they try to hide it and to change it by telling you the name could be transliterated, and if you say it in this language, it could change and mean something in another language. No, it doesn't.
Yeah. So it was already be, Yahweh Shai, and I wasn't stating that, but I was just letting people know that it would be Jesus. Well, that's what they put because they were writing in the Greek. All right. But most definitely, yeah, the name would not change according to Acts 4 and 12. All right. So it's always Yahweh Shai.
But the thing is,
hold up,
gotta
hold up. Wade, so, all right, King James writing genealogies. That after if you read it, I actually read it. Okay, he was exposing witches and warlocks in that book, letting people know about the left-handed side. So you need to actually read that book before you just talk about whatever they slander him for. It's actually a good book. It exposes witches and things of that nature. All right, go ahead, Andrew. What's your question, man?
Yeah, no, I appreciate you bringing me up, man. And I don't know what the brother's name that was just talking. Aban, is that the name? Abaniah. Okay. I think what the brother's saying is accurate. It's not that I think what he is saying is accurate as far as translations and transliterations. Like a translation, that's when you take a word's meaning from one language and then you express that meaning in another language, right? So like shalom would be peace, right? Shalom in Hebrew would be peace in English. That's translation. Transliteration, that's when you take a word sound.
Shalom ain't Hebrew though.
Well, you would say the Lashawan Kodash, which would be Shalawam, which is a whole nother conversation, which is incorrect, but that's a whole nother. What I'm trying to say is,
how is that incorrect?
But let me just make my point. What I'm trying to say is that that's a translation. Transliteration is when you take a word sound from one language and then you spell that sound in another language, right? So what he's saying is absolutely correct. Isus, right, which you said was accurate because it was a translation from Yahweh Shai to the Greek, right, is accurate as far as what should be there. Not that Yahweh Shai is the actual Hebrew. I don't believe that. I believe it's Yeshua, right? But that's the actual translation from one language to another.
When was the
hold on. The point. Let me just make this last point, and then you say what you want. Isus, right? Isus in the Hebrew or in the our modern English, when J was invented, right, would be Jesus. So that word that you're saying is accurate and then became corrupt when the J was added in there, then you would have to, in order to be logically consistent, you'd have to say the same thing for John. Because if you look at any, like the books of any 1611 that has John in it, it'll say Eon, because there's no J in there. But you wouldn't say that that was added in by Protestants over some type of conspiracy to get us to call on the name or incorrect name. You wouldn't say that. You would just say John. So why don't you have that same logical consistency with, brother, listen to what I'm saying. IOHN is what you'll find in the 1611 because it was what was used linguistically, right? The J was added in to the English language and then it became John. Same thing with Jesus.
But that's not the Hebrew. Jesus. That's not the Hebrew.
Brother, I'm not talking about Hebrew. I'm talking about what was in the English from one KJV version to the another.
Okay.
The 1611 had Eusus, right? And then it became Jesus. Jesus does not mean earth pig. Jesus meant what Isus meant. That's what I'm trying to say.
What does G's mean in Latin?
Well, you tell me since you know.
It means earth. What does sus mean in Latin?
Brother, you can't combine words like that. That's what it is. You can't just do that.
It's two words combined.
Brother, that's not how grammar works. Isus, you're looking at Isus right now. Go into the Greek and tell me what Isus means.
Once again, what does G's mean in Latin? Since you're saying Jesus is not earth pig.
No, bro. What I'm saying is you don't even have to do all that. What you have to do is look at Isus. What you read in your 1611.
Look, you came up here to be contentious and debate. We don't do that shit. I'm gonna tell you right now.
Would you just block people that don't get along with the false doctrine you spreading?
Bro,
Why
you're
don't you
not
defend
making
what you're
no
talking about?
sense. You don't
You
make no
spreading false,
sense.
brother. I'm trying to explain it to you as clear as possible. Isus, what does Isus mean? What's it mean?
Once again, like I said, it goes back to Yahweh Shai.
Okay, good, right?
Greek.
So right there, you said it goes back to Yahweh Shai. Isus goes back to Yahweh Shai. Now, when you go into the 1769 version of the KJV, right, which everybody really reads nowadays, you don't really read the 1611. You might, and I respect that. But the 1769, right, that has the J, what does that become now? What does that Jesus become? What does that mean? What does Jesus mean?
Jesus is, like we said, a incorrect translation. Because I stated it would be Joshua. I never said Jesus. I told you Jesus means earth pig. The correct English translation would be Joshua.
Could I interject, Baba Kusha? Would it be possible if I
Go ahead.
No. I don't know how
We can't hear you,
Malak, could I interject? And are you brothers hearing me clearly?
Yeah, go
I want to
ahead.
make sure before I speak.
Go ahead, bro.
When you look at the name, there's a delay, Malak, right? But I will speak anyway. When you look at the name Jesus, that they say is a translation or a transliteration from the Hebrew Yahweh Shai, and from Yesu you get another name in English called Jesus. It still doesn't make any sense because names cannot be transliterated. A phrase may be able to be translated or transliterated into another language, but a name cannot be transliterated or translated in another tongue. This is why the name remains the same. Point in fact, Vladimir Putin, I always use that example. Anywhere he goes in the world, he is known as Vladimir Putin, regardless of the language spoken. We're not dealing with phrases like shalom and shalawam, and it means peace in English. And no, those are phrases. Those are not names. Names cannot be translated or transliterated. The meaning of your name, you could translate or transliterate the meaning into something else. But the actual name remains the same regardless of the language spoken. Jesus, right? I don't care what the name Jesus means because that's not the name. That name, Jesus, could never be translated from Yahweh Shai. The reason why we focus more on the Jesus name than the Jesus is because that is the name that is popularly used today. The name Jesus is not used today, so we don't really get into back and forth with the name Jesus. So this is why we focus on the Jesus, because that's the name everyone thinks he is called today. And the name Jesus is a fusion of two words, one Latin, one Greek.
That's
Because when you
incorrect,
look at
brother.
like English, for instance, or you look at Yiddish, they are the fusions of three or more languages. So to say that, hey, that don't make sense, that don't happen, you would be inaccurate.
Brother, that's incorrect. What you're saying linguistically, I'm talking strictly from like a grammar perspective, right, is wrong.
Andrew, you wrong.
Brother, you gonna mute my mic when I'm trying to make a point?
You are wrong. You ain't got no more time to make points. All right, you can say your goodbyes and get up out of here.
Y'all whack, man. Y'all want no rec. You guys want no dealings with an opposite perspective. which is really how you stay in
Yeah,
a cold state of mind.
yeah, exactly. We want to know. Okay,
I could
Andrew,
literally explain how there is no pig meaning.
What's a coat? What's a coat? What's a coat?
Brother,
No,
the
what's
original
a coat? What's a coat?
original name ends with us.
What's
not,
a coat?
Not sus.
All right, look, if you don't answer that question, I'm dropping you. What is a coat?
A cult is a Hebrew Israelite.
That's incorrect.
And Rich did it. Why don't you get up here and talk? Because y'all in the comment section
Well, don't be talking to people in the comments, man.
Don't want to defend your belief. I don't
Did he
get it.
even say what the name meant that he calls on? What does the name mean that you call on?
Once again, Andrew, what is a cult? Do you have that understanding? Because you saying a cult like it's a bad thing. You're in a cult of calling Yeshua. That's the cult that you're in. You understand? Who trained you in that? Y'all act like being in a cult or brainwashed is bad. Everybody is brainwashed in something. Everybody is in some form of a cult. You Christians, that's a cult. Atheists, that's a cult. A cult is not a bad thing. That's stupid to say. You are brainwashed, Andrew, because you're calling on Yeshua. That's incorrect.
All right, brothers. Well, God bless, man. I hope y'all do well.
Hold on.
Don't send us no blessings. We don't want your blessings, boy.
May the Lord take that veil off your eyes,
Yeshua
man.
mean?
What does Lord mean? What does Lord go back to?
Yeshua means Yahweh is salvation. The Lord said.
There you go.
Bless.
No. There you go. That automatically disqualifies that name from being the correct name because the Bible tells you what his name means. It means he saves, he delivers. Do you understand that?
This is Yahweh. This is Yahweh, the God of Edom. And okay, Andrew, you saying that the Son is the Father? Is that what you saying? We need answers, man. Now, I agree 100% with what Brother Abaniah said. You know, that was perfect. Because, yeah, names do not translate. All right?
They do not. That's why I asked him, what does his name mean? That's the perfect way to defeat that whole shit is just, hey, what does your name mean that you call on? And then as soon as they say that stupid shit, all right, then let's go to what it actually means.
Come on. Now, a cult can refer to a group with an unorthodox or extreme devotion to a person, idea, or subject. All right? Now, that's us. We have an extreme devotion to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. We worship our powers. All right? But, Nakaf, you got it, man. I got to go change my daughter's
He
diaper.
said that brother was cooking. Who was cooking? He talking about Abaniah?
Most likely, probably.
Okay.
That's the thing. The YT world tries to take it in. They're a cult. When the YT world is a cult, the FBI is a cult, the CIA is a cult, the police is a cult.
Army.
The Bloods and Crips. Yeah, the army is a cult. Everything it's a cult, man. You're in some form of a cult. Thanks, baby.
He says, I'll cook off the... What are you talking about, man? Do you even know what's going on in his life?
Come up here, dreadhead Fred. You got him, Nakaf.
Ooh, you got me?
This man turned on his camera and everything. What do you want, man?
What you mean what I want? I said
What'd you
it.
come up here for?
Cause I'm trying to see the purpose.
What? The purpose of what?
The purpose, like, cause you saying everything's a cult and y'all saying like his name don't mean this, and like you just by you defining a name, you basically winning an argument or taking somebody's point of view and just like pushing it to the side.
You know why it gets pushed to the side? Because it's not sound doctrine. That's why it gets pushed to the side. Are we not supposed to cast down false doctrines? That includes false names?
So how is the name Yeshua false?
What does the name Yeshua mean? Like I just asked the other dude. What does it mean?
Well, the Bible says, name him this for he shall save his people, right?
Mm-hmm. That's what the scripture say. So what does the name mean?
He should save his people.
Is
So
that
he
what you're
saved.
saying? That's not what the other dude said when he came up
No, I'm
there.
just saying that's what the Bible said. That's it.
That's what
So
the yeah, that is what the Bible says. But what
the
does Yeshua mean? Do you not know what the name you're defending mean?
I just told you.
It means Yah, like everyone else has defined it. It means Yah saves, Yah delivers, or Yah
Yeah.
saves.
Yahweh should save his people. Yeah.
Is that what the name is translated to?
Yeah.
That's incorrect.
What is it translated to?
Yahawashai means he saves, he delivers. Yeshua does not. And then on top of that, it's not even a proper Hebrew.
Well, no, y'all. Do you know that in the Hebrew? So what is it? Like no one knows where the vowels go though. Like how do you know where the vowels
yeah,
go?
we do.
There,
But how?
Hold up, what this dude want?
Y'all read Paleo Hebrew or what?
Yeah, we read Paleo
yeah,
Hebrew.
so you saying because you don't know where the vowels go, that it's not the correct Hebrew? Like, what are you saying?
Yeah. Well, how would you spell it? How would you spell Yahweh?
What are you talking?
Put it
No,
up
I'm
on the
saying in Hebrew. In
everybody.
Hebrew, how would you spell it?
Put it up on the comment board.
Like I only see the vowels. Where you put the vowels at? Let me see. Yeah. So that'd be a yod. Hey. Where's the W at in Hebrew?
It would be why.
And so it'd be a Y and
No,
Pull
another
it up
Y.
in
I
the
said
Hebrew
why.
alphabet, Yeramian. Are you busy?
I'm still changing my daughter diaper, but I'll be
Okay,
There's
back.
you
no.
good? You
I
good?
know, but I'm saying like, where would you get that letter though in the Hebrew? Like the W. The W is a double V, right? So it'd be a V. There's no W in the
Girl,
Hebrew.
hold up.
You told me it would be wah.
It'd be a V.
It
No,
would be wah.
A VAU. VAU. There ain't no WA.
There is a wah.
In the Hebrew,
When I get back, he can pull up the
what
Paleo
does
Hebrew.
Hebrew go back to? Stand up, girl.
what you mean Hebrew? The language that is said that he spoke everything into existence with 22 letters.
What type of language is Hebrew, brother?
It's a Semitic language, right?
Shemitic language. Yes, exactly. So, what was spoke before Hebrew?
It don't say that.
What is
Unless you want to say
okay?
the Canaanite did, they would can what?
Nikov, can you give me Isaiah 19 and 18?
God.
And I'll be right back. Hold up.
You good? Let me see.
David, because even David is David.
Shalom. Y'all about to shine, Barakatah.
I'm not going against y'all. I'm just trying to like, you feel me?
If my internet still don't work, I'm about to stop out. I might need you to grab that for me,
Yeah,
Locky, if you can.
Yeah, can I tag team and jump in and explain it to him properly?
God.
yeah.
All right. Shalom,
Okay,
shalom.
Con. All right. So, hey,
Yeah.
Shalom. All right. So, what you need to understand is known as the Phoenician Paleo Hebrew. Okay,
All
which
right.
goes back to the Canaanite language, which consisted of 22 consonantal letters. There
Mm-hmm.
was no V's, there was no E, there was no O, there was no U. Now, you mentioned something about there was no W, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, there was, even though you're correct in terms of the actual letter, but in terms of the sound, there was a wa sound, okay, which is right there. Now, what happened was during the Greek period, they turned the wa from, as you see there, that character into a va, a V sound. That's where they get the Etruscan language from. But that only came during the Greek Empire. Okay. And then later, when the Latin language came, they changed it again. So to prove what we're saying, if you look at Eastern cultures today, like Lebanon, for an example, if you look up Lebanon's original language, you can do a simple Google search. It'll tell you that Lebanon's Arabic goes back to the Phoenician Canaanite language, which is the same language our forefathers, the Israelites, actually spoke. So when you break down the 22 consonantal letters, you will only have two vowel sounds, which is I and I. Ah and I. There is no W, sorry, there's no V sound, no E sound, no O sound, no U sound. The problem is when you take on Hebrew today in modern culture, you had a man who they called the godfather of Hebrew, known as Ben Rabbi Eliezer, Ben Yehudi. He was the man or the Edomite that was responsible for recreating or restructuring the Hebrew. And so what he did, what he found out when he did his research, he said um, the closest language today on the planet Earth that resembles the Phoenician Hebrew is the Arabic. That's why when you hear Arabic nations when they talk, the Arabic language is what we call like a slang type of talk towards the actual Paleo Hebrew, which the word paleo means ancient. It's the closest language on the earth that goes back to the ancient Hebrew, Paleo Hebrew. Okay. So, with that being said, moving forward, you have two offshoot Hebrews today. You have modern Hebrew, which is what they added, what's called a Nakud system. Nakud system is where you get your names, Yeshua, and all of that BS, which is BS because that went back to the 18th century. They added in what's called a vowel point system. When you search the Phoenician Hebrew, what you're going to find out, there is no such thing as a vowel point system. That was added later on. This is why people stumble on the names like Yeshua or Yahweh and all of that nonsense. You see what I'm saying? So now you have what's called Yiddish, which is a total separate ball game. Yiddish is extrapolated from languages such as Russian, German, Poland. Okay. So when you visit the land of Israel today, in the land, you're going to have two languages spoken. One language is going to be Yiddish. The other language is going to be what they call modern Hebrew. But nobody in that land today will actually speak the Paleo Hebrew. This is why when you go to try to research the sources, they'll tell you, oh, that language, we don't know how it was actually pronounced. Bullshit. The scriptures tells you in the prophecy that in the last days that the Israelites will come back in remembrance and they will speak the language of Canaan. The language of Canaan goes back to the Phoenician Hebrew. That's prophecy. Okay. So the brothers are on part. When they break it down to you, the names Yahweh, for instance, it tells you in Proverbs 30:4, what is his name and what is his son's name, if thou canst tell. Everybody can't tell. You know why? Because it wasn't given for everybody to tell. It's only given to the Israelites. Everybody's not meant to know the name. Only the elect of Israel is going to know the true name in these last days. That's prophetic. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when the brother broke it down to you in Matthew 1:21, when the angel told Joseph, you're going to call him Yahweh Shai. Do you know the name Yahweh Shai is also found in the Old Testament?
I know Elsa that. I'm saying, how would you spell it? How did you? What letters would you spell it if you said the Y is the same as the
Okay,
W?
so if the brother, we're going to show you. This is why you need to know the Paleo Hebrew alphabet, because if you study the alphabet, you'll be able to put the syllables together. Brother, can you please put up the chart again for him? So I'm gonna have Yaramya break it down to you and show you the actual letters. Go ahead, brother.
A, ba, ga, da, ha, wa, za, ka, ta, ya, ka. All right. As you can see, it's no O's, no E's, no V's, no U's, no J's, no F's. La, ma, na, sa, I, pa, ta, za, qua, ra, sha, and tha. All right. So, as we showed you earlier, it would be ya, ha, wa, ha, Yahweh. That will be the Father's name. All right. I'm bringing it over here
Yeah.
to show you that Yahweh.
What is
Once,
that first letter?
And then,
okay, go ahead. All right. So this would be Yahweh. 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 That would be the Father's name.
Like, can you
All
show me
right.
that first letter on the thing?
This one?
Yeah, that's on. That's on the. Oh, that's the Z right.
need to fix
Now,
these
do you
cookies.
see how the way that's written? That would be
Yeah.
written in a Phoenician prototype,
Okay, I
right?
see. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
Now, show him the modern. Go down to the when it was transcribed through Ezra. That's how it would be. That's how it would look today.
Yeah, I
But
know that
what they
one.
did was, see,
But how the second
yeah,
letter though?
what they
Like I
did
was just
was, so
want to
you
know the name.
understand,
Ha.
I wanted to know the letters, knowing the Phoenician, so I can write them down.
You can get all
The
this on you can get all this on Google.
I know, but you said the name, the Yahashua. I wanted to write it down. Like,
Okay, I got you. All right. This would be Yahweh Shah and then I. So the W looking, that would be Shah. And then this one that looks like an eyeball, that would be
yeah.
eyes. So Yahweh Shai.
Okay. Sure.
Abaniah, man, your connection. I'm gonna bring you up though, bro. But your connection.
Okay, that's what's up. All right, I kind of got a point. I want to ask you guys. Well, y'all read the Old Testament. Is that
Yeah, of course.
okay? I was reading because I wanted to make sure I was right. I mean, not right. What I was saying wasn't like wrong about creation. And I ran across something where in the first and second chapter of creation, it says like basically because my mom used to tell me like God let animals, He made them first. Okay, so in the first chapter and the second chapter, it says that God made the animals from dirt, the beast of the field, and He said that He made man from the dirt, like the beast of the field. And then they say man named all the animals. And right in the second chapter, it says that God created the animals after their kind. He created them, and then He made man in His image. So is that like two different creations? Like, because that's kind of. And then they already have names in the second chapter, but in the first chapter, the man named them. So is that two different creations? Like one man made out
no,
of dirt and one man made out
no,
of God's image?
no, no, no. What you, no, 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 no. We got you. Genesis 1 is establishing, is giving you the record, the account of everything created. Genesis 2 is giving you the account of Adam being made separate from all the nations that were created in Genesis, the first chapter, because he was given the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding on how to rule. He was the first high priest on the planet Earth.
Yeah, but I'm saying
So
like,
in Genesis, the second chapter, yeah, go ahead.
but I'm saying like, but it didn't say that though. Like
No,
I'm
it
saying,
actually
look,
does say it if you can comprehend what it's saying. Give you an
comprehend.
example. You go to Genesis 1 and start in day 5. Because see, man, it'll tell you the way that it's written, it'll trip you out. It'll tell you that man and woman was created in day 6, but really they were created in day 5 because we are known as creatures. And the scriptures calls us creatures. So when it
Yeah.
says every creature after his kind, that includes human beings. We were created on the 5th day. But we're gonna break it down. Go ahead, brother.
All right, Con. And hold up, real quick. I am. Bro, you watch Great Millstone. You know we don't say Elohim. It's Elohim. So you need to pay attention. So this is Genesis 1 and 20. And Elohim said, let the waters bring forth abundantly the moving creature that hath life, and fowl that may fly above the earth in the open firmament of heaven. And Elohim, this is talking about the angels with Yahweh Shai, our king, being at the top, all right, creating everything. And you can find that in John, the first chapter. You can find that in Colossians, the first chapter as well, or Hebrews 1 and 2, where it says that Yahweh Shai created the world. So this is our king with the Elohim, the angels, the 144,000 as well, creating everything. And Elohim created great whales and every living creature that moveth, which the waters brought forth abundantly after their kind, and every winged fowl after his kind. And Elohim saw that it was good. And Elohim blessed them, saying, be fruitful and multiply, and fill the waters in the seas, and let fowl multiply in the earth. and the evening and the morning were the fifth day. You got it, bro.
So the evening and the morning were the fifth day. So when it says every creature after his kind, that's not just talking about beasts of the field, but rather that's talking about human beings. Because as I mentioned, when you go into the scriptures, the humans in general are known as creatures. Remember, the Bible is coded through using words like euphemisms and Hebrew idioms, which you need to look that up to understand what that's talking about. It's coded. So then as it continues on, go ahead, brother, continue to read
I'm gonna get a
where
precept
you
real
left
quick.
off.
Romans 8:20. For the
Yep,
creature
bring it out.
was made subject to vanity, not willingly, but by reason of him who have subjected the same in hope. So as we're letting you know that we are creatures, indeed, it's talking about us. All right. Keeping it going, verse 24. And Elohim let the earth bring forth the living creature after his kind, cattle and creeping thing and beast of the earth after his kind, and it was so. And
Stop. Read it again because it went over his head. Read it again.
No, I didn't go over my head.
No, we got to establish this because every time we bring this out, when people ask the question, it goes way over their head. Read it again.
And Elohim said, let the earth bring forth the living creature after his kind, cattle and creeping thing.
Notice it's a comma. It's a comma right after his kind. Living creature after his kind. That starts with us. Then it gives you a comma, cattle, continue to read.
And creeping thing and beast of the earth after his kind. And it was so. And
See, it's a separation. Go ahead, you got it.
And Elohim made the beast of the earth after his kind, and cattle after their kind, and everything that creepeth upon the earth after his kind. And Elohim saw that it was good. And Elohim said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth.
Stop right there. Now, what does it mean when it says that the powers or the Elohim said, let us make man in our image? What does the image represent?
You asking me?
Yeah.
Well, I was trying to see like about the. I was still seeing if y'all gonna answer my question because like
we answering it. We gonna answer it.
I know he made. So you said the creature was man, right? Right? Because you said it was a comma. You said the creature was man because it was a comma.
But what?
Yes, like you say that again.
You said the creature was man that they spake about because it was a comma. That's what you said.
Yes.
And then why? Would he say
the creature represents human beings?
Okay, so he made the human beings and then animals, and then they said Elohim said, "Let us make man in our image." Why would he do that again? Or why would he say that?
The key word.
That's why I just asked you the question. What? No.
Ask you, yeah. What does the word image?
It's a question.
Mean?
Why? Right. What does the word image mean?
Likeness.
That's what we asking you.
No, likeness.
Yeah.
Pertaining to what? Pertaining to what?
The creator.
Pertaining to what?
The creator.
And what? Okay, when I say pertaining to what, and if you have a son, and you bring him up in your image, what does that say about you?
He's gonna be a creator.
What do you have?
I guess he's gonna follow like if.
And what?
And indeed.
I see what you're saying. Okay, so let me help you out. When it says image, it's not talking about in terms of appearance, but rather it's talking about in order. Because can you get Psalms 49 and 20 real quick, Yaramia?
Psalm 49 and 20.
Just to show you what we're saying. All right.
And it reads, man that is in honor and understandeth not is like the beasts that perish.
Right. So when the Elohim said, let us make man in our image, remember, man and woman were created in day 5, but they didn't have the order. So when you read verse 26, it says, read that verse again, Babakusha, Genesis 1 and 26.
And Elohim said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth.
So that image represents, let us give them order, let us set them up and give them order so that they can be able to manage and rule over the planet Earth. How do we know that? Because if you go to the Apocrypha and you read Ecclesiasticus, the 24th chapter, it breaks it down further by telling you that man was established and was given the 6 senses to be able to rule on the planet Earth. So the image means order. Does it not talk? Because some people read it verbatim, they'll think, oh, it's talking about he was made, like you just said, the creator. So no, this is why you need to go into the Hebrew. Remember, the Bible was translated from the Hebrew and the Greek. You got to learn how to go back and look up your words. So image in the correct context, meaning they were given order. Continue to read verse 27 and verse 28.
So Elohim created man in his own image. In the image of Elohim created he them. Male and female created he them. And Elohim blessed them, and Elohim said unto them, be fruitful and multiply, and replenish the earth, and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over every living thing that moveth upon the earth.
Okay, now let's go to chapter 2 real quick. Read the first two verses 2 and between verses 1 and 3, and then jump down to verse 7 so we can answer his question.
Thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the host of them. And on the 7th day Elohim ended his work which he had made, and he rested on the 7th day from all his work which he had made. And Elohim blessed the 7th day and sanctified it, because that in it he had rested from all his work which Elohim created and made. Now going down
verse
to
4,
the 7th verse. And Yahweh, power, formed man of the dust of the ground, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul.
Now, this is where it takes a turn, because it just told you in chapter 1 that the creatures after his kind were created on the 5th day. But in chapter 2 is telling you that he took man from the dust of the ground. So what it's actually saying here is giving you a different account of man, this one particular man that has been chosen from the foundation of the earth, separated from the other nations that were already created in Genesis 1, because it already told you that Elohim told man and woman to do what? Be fruitful and multiply. You see what I'm saying? So there were already other nations on the planet Earth, but in Genesis 2, in the 7th verse, read it again.
Genesis 2, 7th verse, and it reads, and Yahweh, power, formed man of the dust of the ground, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and became a living soul. Man became a living soul.
Now notice this is the first time you notice the word Lord in all caps. Now, this is where the Heavenly Father comes into place, because in Genesis, the 1st chapter, he was never mentioned. Because in Genesis, the 1st chapter, it was only the angels and Yahweh Shai. But in Genesis 2, Yahweh, the Heavenly Father, is involved now. And it said that he took man from the dust from the ground, which is where you get the word, the Hebrew word Adama, which translated in English is Adam. And so he took Adam specifically away from everyone else that was already created and breathed into him the breath of life, which means he was given wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. That's what the breath of life actually means, pursuant to Wisdom of Solomon, the 7th chapter. You understand that?
Yeah,
And so when Adam,
it said
don't say
before
what?
there was a man to work the field. It says,
Yeah, what field was that talking about?
I don't know. It said he was formed outside of it, right? And he was like, before there
What
was a
field was
man
that talking
to till the
about?
land. And it says the
Okay.
land.
What land was that talking about? Okay. Go, Yoram, read Genesis 2 and 7 again. And I think going into verse 8.
Okay. And Yahweh power formed man of the dust of the ground, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. And Yahweh power formed man of Salakia. And Yahweh power planted a garden eastward in Eden, and there he put the man whom he had formed.
Right. So eastward in Eden, Eden represents the earth, which also means paradise. Eden represents the entire earth, but it said he planted a garden eastward. So today, in layman's term, we will call that place what? The so-called Middle East.
But you
This is
skipped
where
the
you
whole
get
part
the
though.
this. No, I didn't. He just read it. I'm
No, I'm
breaking it
saying the
down to
part
you. Verse
before
8.
that. When that's after. I'm talking about. It says when he in every plant of the field before it was in the earth, and every herb on the field before it grew, the Lord, well, Yahweh, Yahushua, Elohim had not caused it to rain upon the earth, and there was not a man to till the ground. But there went up a mist from the earth and watered the whole face of the ground. And Yahushua formed
Yahweh, bro.
Yahweh Elohim
Alahaya.
formed man from the dust of the ground and breathed in his nostrils and the breath of life, and
Yeah.
man became a
So
living.
what part are you stuck on?
So he no, because he said it was a all right. So it was a everything was made, and then he planted. So he formed man outside of where he put him, right? Because I asked you about tilling the land. He was like,
Right.
"What
What? And
land?"
I asked you, what is the land? What land
Well,
is
it
he talking
says
about
the
in particular?
what you saying is basically not talking about the garden because he made that after he was talking about before it was a man that tilled the land. So it has to be
You
talking
sure
about
about
earth.
that?
Well, it says it
Yeah.
has to
Okay.
be.
Nope. Let's go. This is why you need to go precept upon precept. Through thy precepts, I get understanding. Yoramya, can you please get second Esdras, the fifth chapter? And I believe, let me find a verse for you. Abaniah, you can chime in now if you want.
Kantawada. Now, what the brother was, are you brothers hearing me?
Yeah,
Just need to be
yeah,
certain.
yeah, he did.
Are you brothers hearing me?
God.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Now, if you understand what the brother just explained, Genesis chapter 2 is not referring to another
Man.
creation, right? Genesis chapter 2 is simply making mention of what was spoken in Genesis chapter 1. Because when you look in Genesis chapter 1 from verses 26 on down, that was when the understanding was given to the Adamites, right? And Genesis chapter 2, verses 7 is merely making mention of that fact. This is why when the brother took you high up in Genesis chapter 1, you realize those creatures was speaking about people, right? So that's when we didn't have the understanding. We were not given the laws. We were practically having that beast mindset, that beast like mindset, right? And then when you saw in Genesis chapter 1 from verses 26 on down, that let us make man in our image and after our likeness refers to the understanding that was given to them. This is why when you look at Genesis chapter 2, for instance, and I notice the gentleman was emphasizing verse 5. Let's start at verse 4. These are the generations of the heavens and of the earth when they were created, in the day that Yahweh power made the earth and the heavens. Right? So that term generations is plural, it's not singular, it's plural, indicating that there were more than one people created at this point that is mentioned in Genesis chapter 2. And every plant of the field before it was in the earth, and every herb of the field before it grew. For Yahweh power had not caused it to rain upon the earth, and there was no man to till the ground. This is speaking in regards to the events early on in Genesis chapter 1, where we did not have the understanding at that time. So that rain that was not falling down also refers to what we call the latter rain, which would be understanding as well, because understanding is also compared to rain in the scriptures, right? And it says, the Lord had not caused rain upon the earth, and there was no man to till the ground. Meaning there was no one at the time with the understanding to guide the people in the way they were supposed to go. And this is why when you look at verse 6, it says, and there went up a mist from the earth and watered the whole face of the ground. So men were basically doing what they wanted at that time, right? Every nation, as the scripture tells us, every nation will follow after their gods, right? So every nation created at that time, they had their own culture, their own belief system that they used to follow. And then you're seeing in verse 7 in Genesis 2, the Lord God formed man of the dust of the ground. That man goes back to Adam, right? And breathed into his nostrils the breath of life. And man became a living soul. So that nation of people known as the Adamites, spoken of in Genesis chapter 5, receiving the understanding that which truly showed them separate from the other nations. It didn't happen from verses 26 on down.
Does that kind of help your question a little bit, or?
Well, it kind of do, but it's like saying that like what you read don't mean what it is, and like it's all based on how a man will interpret it. But then it says he put them in the garden. No, he placed them in the garden, not where he created them, but he placed them in the garden. All right, so then why do it say that? And
What's the garden then? See, we asking
that's
you
another
what's the
place. That's
garden?
the east. I mean, it says in the eastern. That's like he had the earth with the springs that came up, but then he placed them in the
Okay,
garden,
to make
separated.
it simpler, brother. Okay, what's the Holy Land?
I don't know. Oh, you said the Holy Land? Like it says
Yeah.
the Middle East. Whatever.
No, like specifically, what land? What do you know is the Holy Land?
The Levant. The
Okay, Levant, yeah, Israel, right? That land, right? So would Eden would be the entire planet.
okay.
Okay. So the garden would simply be the Holy Land. This is what it's referring to. That's always been our land because we are the sons of Adam. We are the sons of God. This is what the brother's trying to relate to you. The Israelites are the sons of God. We are those men. So that's always our land. We're always going to get that land back. That's the land where Adam was ruling from. He was ruling the entire planet at this point in time. Right? When brothers is about to break it down, they're going to tell you that these trees and things, these are other nations. He has to kill these nations.
What about in the first chapter? Spoke to the waters, right? Like he made the animals and the fowl out of the water. The animals from the water spring forth from the water. But in second chapter, he says, out of the ground, he formed every beast of the field and every fowl of the air, and brought them to Adam, and to see whatever he called them, and he called them. So in the first chapter, they already have names. And in the second chapter, they don't have names. He brought
They
them
don't
out
have
of
no. No.
That's what it
See, you're
says.
not understanding what it is that you're reading. That's why we're trying to break it down to you.
No, but
In the
that's what it
first
says.
chapter, they are not given names. Let me say it again. In the first chapter, they are not giving specific names. They are just called beasts of the field,
They're
fowls of
called
the
calves,
field.
right?
In
Calves.
chapter, no. In chapter 2, he specifically tells Adam, you can name the animals of the field. But they were not given specific. Like today, you go to the zoo and when you see a caged panther, you know that that's a panther. Why? Because that's the name we put on them. You see a tiger, that's the name we put on them.
What about
It
whales?
tells you that even in the same thing, we did that name we put on them, but we
In the
don't
first
have
chapter,
the
it's called
understanding.
whales.
Hold on. We don't have the understanding. Okay, because see, that's the problem with Jay. When y'all want to go real deep and say, well, we don't have the understanding to go back to day one when Adam was walking the earth to know what was said and what he called it. That's why the scriptures tells you man cannot know everything because man is not immortal. When we get into the kingdom, we'll get all of that understanding of what happened back then. For now, you are only given the record that Moses wrote according to the creation account of what it is that we need to know. So when we tell you in Genesis, the first chapter, that when it was wrote down, they were called beasts of the field, right? Fowls of the heaven, and so forth and so on. But when you jump to Genesis, the second chapter, the Heavenly Father specifically told Adam by raising him up, giving him wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, according to Sirach, the 24th chapter, to go and name all the beasts of the field. You can't deny that.
I know, but it says whales in the first chapter, and it's cattle too.
Okay, so what's your argument with whales?
No, I'm saying that's the
Because you
name.
know that today.
All
Okay,
right,
hold
bro.
on. Do not
Okay.
do so. You mean to tell me every whale in the ocean today is just called a whale?
No, but
Are
whale,
okras called whales? Yeah, you see what I'm
orcas,
saying? Are dolphins
orca
called
whale,
whales?
dolphin.
And
No,
furthermore, bro, you being too damn technical. We
I'm
don't
being
have the
technical.
proper.
I'm saying it's like
Listen, just listen. We don't have the true names of these animals. This is what the brother is relaying to you. All right. First and foremost, you knowing, because I know you know that Hebrew is the purest form of language. It's the first language. So if we're talking truthfully, their name would be in Hebrew. It wouldn't be well, because there's no E in Hebrew. You understand? So stop being so technical and just get
I'm
the
not being
position
technical. I'm
stance.
out of the ground, and he made the animals out of the ground. But in the first chapter, he says he brought them forth out of the waters. So I'm saying like those two different things. Y'all saying that it's not.
Because the earth, no, it's not. Because the earth is not the. Yerami, can you find that in Peter where it talks about the water and within inside the waters? It was talking about the earth. The earth was brought forth out of the waters, man. The
Yeah,
earth
it
is
says that in
also
the first
known as
chapter too,
waters.
or this chapter second. We
That's what it's
separated.
really going into when you understand the breakdown.
Let me see. This is 2 Peter 3 and 5. For this they willingly are ignorant of that by the word of power the heavens were of old, and the earth standing out of the water and in the water.
What does that mean? The earth standing out of the water and in the water at the same time.
I don't know what that
Because
means.
that's answering your question. That's answering your question because that's where you're getting confused. It just told you out of the water and in the water. So when it says that the creature was brought forth abundantly out of the water, it's mainly talking about earth, man. It's not hard to put it together.
Okay, in the beginning it says the Most High created the heaven and the earth, and then it was without form, and then it goes back. That's what it says. They're both singular, and then while later on it says heavens, and then but the earth is still singular.
Did you listen to what the brother Abaniah told you earlier when he was breaking down the account to you?
Yes,
Abaniah, you want to chime in to repeat yourself,
no,
Aki?
I heard what he said.
Really, he created the earth on the third day, if you want to be real. The land.
Giving a little
Go
trouble.
ahead.
So this don't mean what it says, pretty much.
He had to separate them. But Abaniah, you got it. Oh, well, all right. Well, until the brother get back. Genesis 1 and 9. And Elohim said, let the waters under the heaven be gathered together unto one place, and let the
Wait
dry
a minute.
land appear. And it was
What's
so.
under the heaven, bro? What's under the heaven?
This is why I did a lesson going
The
back
heavens,
on I did a lesson on the flood. I did a lesson on the flood last month.
the
And
firmament is heaven,
okay, yeah.
right?
I did a lesson on the flood last month, and I showed that it would have been Pangea. All the land would have been together. and all the water would have been gathered into one place. That would have been the sea that's around the land. So the Most High, the Elohim, had to separate the water because it was just all water. You have waters above and you have waters below. He had to separate it and allow the land to appear and to rest on that spot.
Yep. That's why I said the earth. That's why the brother read Second Peter. The earth stood out from the waters and in the waters. So it's telling you that it's no contradiction. All the creation came out of the waters that's in the earth. He just literally read it. But anyway, I can't stay long, you know me. I
Yeah,
gotta
yeah,
drop
yeah.
down, but I'm gonna be listening in the background. All right. Hey,
Yeah, me
Shalom.
too. I don't want to take
Hey,
up your
shalom,
time.
shalom.
I know it's a lot of people that want to let you, or other points you got to give to. I appreciate your time, though, for sure.
Now it's all good, but we want to make sure you got this understanding.
Yeah, I understand. I'm like, now I'm at the point where I'm like, when I read it, do I take it literally, as if like it, or do I just like, since
So
you like, do
certain
I just
things
come up
are
with like,
what we trying to state is certain things are allegoric, right? And you have to. That's why you have to have the proper breakdowns from the elders, the teachers that the Holy Spirit has been dealing with. Because just reading
yeah.
Revelation
So who are
12
they?
and seeing that, I would tell you that would be great millstone, right? When I'm learning under, that would be the men that have been teaching for 30 years, 30 plus years, right? Going out on the corners and bringing out this truth, consistently. If a brother could put in the comments GMS elders the milk so the brother can screenshot it and write it down. And I would suggest, I felt like you came up here on some playful shit, but actually we began to teach, and that's good because that's the Most High.
Yeah, I
Trying
ain't
to
never
teach.
playing with I don't never play with the word.
Kind. But also with the net, like the brother put GMS elders the milk. You could go there on YouTube and these breakdowns would be on there. The proper understanding, proper breakdowns. And also if a brother could put the names, because I know you calling on a different name, but hopefully with the way that we broke down the Hebrew for you, you can see that it's the proper
Yeah, I like the Phoenician. I like those letters.
the Lashawan Kadash Phoenician Canaanite. Matter of fact, I'm gonna show it to you on a stone that it was written
Oh
down
yeah.
on stone.
Oldest farm is in New Mexico out here.
Yeah. And then you also have the Moabite stone where you can see the father's name, the same name that I showed you, is written right there. Yahweh. So that's the father's name written on stone right there. So, and this is you kind of breaking up, but you have multiple artifacts and tablets and stuff out there with the Paleo Hebrew written on it.
Yeah.
But you got any more questions? Because I saw some other questions in the comments that I'm gonna try to answer.
Nah. Let them who needs to answer. We gotta share. Yeah, I appreciate it.
All right, well, just follow the brothers that was teaching. Follow up, and we go live every single day. We will be live later on tonight, doing a live on what's a woman's role in this truth. If you want to tap in later on.
Yeah, I just be chilling. Yeah. I just be chilling.
All right, cool. Shalawam, bro. I'm gonna drop you down.
Mm.
All right, I saw one more question. Is this brother Isaac Copper? If you could come up, man, because I see you had a lot of questions. Your one question that I see is, can you talk about the Ark of the Covenant and where you believe it's currently at? So, in the scriptures, it was stated that Jeremiah took the Ark of the Covenant and pretty much he took it down a certain path and he placed it there, and then on his way back, like the path was hidden, so nobody could go and find it. So, the Most High hid it until the time that it needs to be revealed, right? So that's the knowledge of it. It's not in Israel. It's not in wherever. All right, the small hats do not have it. It's not in the Vatican. Okay, the Most High had the prophet Jeremiah go and hide the Ark of the Covenant. So that's where it's at right now. It's hidden from, civilization. All right, so that would be the answer to that question. And let me see if I can find that scripture. That's Second Maccabees. Right here. It is also found in the records that Jeremy, that would be Jeremiah or Jeremiah, the prophet, commanded them that were carried away to take of the fire as it hath been signified, and how that the prophet, having given them the law, charged them not to forget the commandments of Yahweh, and that they should not err in their minds when they see images of silver and gold with their ornaments. And with, where is it at, man? Oh, yeah, keep it going. And with other such speeches exhorted he them that the law should not depart from their hearts. It was also contained in the same writing that the prophet, being warned of Yahweh, commanded the tabernacle and the ark to go with him as he went forth into the mountain, where Moses climbed up and saw the heritage of Yahweh. And when Jeremiah, came thither, he found an hollow cave, wherein he laid the tabernacle and the ark and the altar of incense, and so stopped the door. So he closed it up, he blocked it. And some of those that follow him came to mark the way, but they could not find it, which, when Jeremiah perceived, he blamed them, saying, as for that place, it shall be unknown until the time that Yahweh gather his people again together and receive them unto mercy. Now that is the time frame that we're approaching, all right, to be delivered and saved and brought back into our land, and given everlasting bodies and everlasting life, right? So that's your answer to that question. What's the dude name? Isaac. Okay. So if there's any more questions, man, y'all can ask them right now. Other than that, I'm about to get ready to wrap it up. And Tawada for the brother Matazabak and Abaniah coming up. And breaking bread, beautiful breakdowns. All right. And we will be live. I'll be live later on tonight, going into a woman's role in this ministry. Brother said, Ak, how do you spell Elohim in Hebrew? All right, so Allahayim. Let's write it up. Right here. And this is a couple words if you want to. I just got a couple right here. But it's right here. Allahayim. The powers or the angels. Allahayim. All right. Allahayim. So Ahlahayam. Allahayim. You gotta leave that Elohim alone. What is she doing? All right, check her in the room. We about to do lunch. All right, man. Any more questions? Any more questions? Okay, I don't see no more questions. All right, so hey, facing the east, giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Kakadash, Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of the great millstone, which rule well and teach well, and sincerity taught us his truth. Shalawam to the Lord's hopeful elect. As always, 144,000 men, as well as 1/3 men, women, and children, maintaining themselves, keeping the laws, commandments, and statutes to the best of their ability. All right. As always, Shalawam Yasharahla, and abide but ball to his wicked kingdom. May Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai destroy this bitch, with the quickness yesterday. And for anybody asking what time later on, it will most likely be, what time is it right now? 1:23. All right, gotta cook. So I'll say around 7 p.m. Pacific time. That will be 10 p.m. Eastern time. All right, 7 p.m. Pacific time. All right, so hey, with that being said, Shalom.